Yo, 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 yo. What's good, everyone? Happy New Year's. Give me a second while I set up here. Let's see. What's this? I should have did this the first time. Okay, so I know for next time. All right. My bad, my bad. Just trying to share this on other platforms to reach more people. Just bear with me a few more seconds or minutes. Yeah. Okay. Where do I do on Facebook? Go? Okay, okay, I see. Uh, If you guys are coming in late, just fast forward to like 6 minutes or 7 minutes. My bad for taking so long. Yeah. Okay, but yeah. Happy New Year again. I hope everyone ended the last year with a bang and brought in a new year with some good motivation. Yeah. But as you know, with every new year, there there comes new resolutions, and just some things on my mind about New Year resolutions. Are they overrated or not? But before I start sharing my opinions, um, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected, and also share with other people. All right. So, I just want to talk about a few notes. Like, let's see. Like I mentioned before, are New Year resolutions necessary or pointless? Uh, I guess there's a two-part um, answer to this question, and basically it's yes and no. So, I guess I'll start with the yes because I think it's more easier to answer. So, I think the main thing about New Year resolutions is staying with the game plan, sticking to the game plan. Um, we have AI, Chat GPT, other large language models, and they can create everything for you, everything, whether it be like a budget, a website, programming, anything, just anything. So with that being said, there is there is no excuse to quit or to postpone your goals for the new year. You can put whatever into the uh, AI model, like what you want to do. Maybe you want to save more money. Um, Maybe you want to get fit. Maybe you want to make yourself, um, what should I say, more attractive to find a boyfriend or girlfriend. Anything. You could put anything in ChatGPT or whatever you use, and it will spit out like a whole game plan, detail. You can even put in like whatever your goal is and tell the the language model to break it down as a kindergarten or break it down for a kindergartner, and it will. So as long as you follow that game plan or that roadmap that it gives you, that it provides for you, you should have no problem with it. So yes, New Year resolutions can be necessary, but this goes to the second part of why it's not necessary, because most people quit, and they quit within like the first week, maximum a month. Um, you know, I guess doing the same thing over and over again can be redundant, monotonous, and it seems boring. But people forget forget why they're doing it, and people forget their initial motivation for starting their new goals and stuff like that. So for me, I think for the most part, it's overrated. You shouldn't have to wait for New Year's to start doing or to start your new goals. Um, hold on. As always, well, I won't say always, but today I'm smoking Great Mint again. Um, I smoke other flavors too, but for some reason I've just been on Great Mint for some reason. Today I'm drinking water because I drunk very heavily over the holidays, and my birthday was before Christmas. So my birthday, Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's, just nothing but alcohol. So I need to put some water back into my bloodstream. It's calling me. But yeah, I just think New Year resolutions are overrated. You can start your goals at any time. You don't have to wait for the New Year's. I just think New Year resolutions give you an excuse to continue in your bad habits and just gives you an excuse to keep saying, okay, when next year comes, it's going to be a new me, new year, new me. I think that's the most cliche phrase that everyone uses. New year, new me. It's not a new you. It's not. Maybe you're doing something new, but come on. Let's be honest with ourselves. All right. Um, yeah. And most of our goals are continue from, you know, what we started before. So they just rolling over to the new year anyways. But yeah, I get on Facebook, IG, and I always see like during this time of year, I always see people talking about their New Year resolutions and stuff like that. And I just call BS from the get go because nobody is committed nowadays. You know, there's so many distractions now. When I was growing up, we didn't have the internet. I mean, until like 1996, 1997. So I was born 1990, telling my age. But yeah, so we didn't have smartphones, and DMs and stuff like that. I mean, later on we start getting MySpace, some other stuff, Facebook, YouTube, and stuff like that. But I guess people didn't have that didn't have that many distractions, back before like the internet came out and technology and stuff like that. So I guess they could stay more focused on what they were doing. I mean, they had to. They had nothing else to do, you know. So, but yeah, it's just I just see so many people just quit so fast, you know. Yeah, so New Year resolutions are definitely overrated for me. Yeah. What do you guys think? But anyways, yeah, I'm just vibing, chilling tonight. Nothing special. Yeah. But what did you guys do for the New Year's, Christmas? Did you guys get everything you wanted for Christmas? I got the flu. Yes, so I guess that means I was a naughty boy. Instead of getting some coal from Santa, I got the flu. Yeah, but I think I was down for like a few days. Yeah, just a few days. But yeah, but I guess more importantly, I spent time with some good friends and stuff like that. You know, celebrated my birthday. So uh, I'm in Thailand, and I have a lot of Thai friends. So spend my birthday with them, Thai style. You know, so that was good. Let's see, Christmas Eve. Christmas not really big here in Thailand. So like you might see some like decorations if you go to the mall, like in the lobby area. You might see some. You might see like a Christmas tree. That's it. It's only in the lobby area. Christmas isn't that big, but they do have some events like at the bars and clubs and stuff. So I don't really like the club too much. It's just the clubs. Why people go to the clubs, and I'm not into that scene no more. Now that I'm getting older and stuff like that. But I do like to go to bars because they got like pool tables and stuff like that. So, and I'm a huge pool player. I love playing pool. I love shooting some pool. Yes. So yeah, I just went to some bars with some friends. And what I like about uh, in Thailand, there's people from everywhere. Uh, UK, Canada, Australia, Russia, Japanese, Koreans, and stuff like that. So I like engaging with people from different backgrounds and stuff like that. Makes things much more interesting. Yeah. But yeah, so did that on Christmas Eve. Was sick on Christmas. The day after Christmas, maybe like 2 or 3 days after Christmas, I was sick. So, but overall, I ended the year good on a good note. Yeah, I can say that for sure. Though while I'm talking, something just came up in my mind. So I I'm currently teaching English online, and most of my students are from Japanese, and this is tying back into like this New Year resolutions overrated, being overrated or not. But most of my students are Japanese, but every now and then I get some students from other countries, China, Brazil, Turkey. But particular, I want to talk about this one student that I have from Turkey. I'm not going to say any names, and I've already talked to her about this, about streaming and stuff like that. So I asked her, could I use her story? She was like, "Yeah, just don't say my name." So yes, I'm gonna leave it at that. But she's in her, I think, early 30s. So for women in their early 30s, their biological clock starts to tick. You know, I think like 30. I think it's like 35, something like that. Age 35. It's like when it starts to get into the risk zone for getting pregnant, having kids, and stuff like that. But now with technology nowadays, I see women's in their 40s uh, having a healthy pregnancy and giving birth to strong, healthy babies. So things are quite different now, but nevertheless, the biological clock is still ticking. So she she met this guy on um on a dating app. Um, I don't know which one it was. I can't remember, but I don't think it was like Tinder or Bumble. I think it was like a what they use in Turkey or whatever. But pause on that story. I need to change this charcoal. Yeah, but side note for like just a shisha tip. So let's say you're smoking for quite a while and you notice it's not the smoke is not hitting like you want it to. I know when you go to like shisha shops and stuff like that, uh, they'll change the charcoal, like give you new charcoal. But I don't like to do that. I just like to just turn my charcoal that I have right that I'm using now, and I don't put it the charcoal directly on aluminum foil. I have a heat management device. I will show you. Let me see if I can do this safely. Yeah. So yeah, I use this and I put the charcoal inside here. All right. So what it does is it doesn't cook the tobacco. It it warms the bowl up evenly. All right. So like I don't need to add or change out new charcoal. I can just turn the charcoal over because like if you keep it in a position so long, it starts wherever the bottom of the charcoal that's touching the metal piece, it starts to cool down. So you have to turn it, you know. And then I keep this lid over it just to keep it warm, you know. Because if you take it off, the charcoal will start to oxidize. Yeah, and then uh, it would just burn, not burn, but it would just turn into dust more quickly or turn into whatever soot more quickly than it would just having the than keeping it warm. Yes. But yeah, don't add new charcoal. It's just gonna burn it and your shisha session will end faster. So yeah. And one more tip before I get back to the story. Like when you use the tobacco, you put the tobacco in the bowl. Before you put the aluminum foil on top of it, take that tobacco out the bowl and put it on some napkin or tissue, whatever, and take out the juice. Take out some of the juice because the juice, when you're smoking, the juice will leak into the hookah, into the water, and then when it mixes with water, it starts to bubble, and so the bubbles will get into your holes and stuff like that, and you won't get the thick smoke that you want. So this is another tip. Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, she met this guy on a dating app, and from the beginning, he told her that he didn't want anything serious. He didn't want to commit, and that he didn't want to be responsible for anything. Mhm. But you know how women can be sometimes. They think like eventually the guy will change their mind. I don't know why y'all do that. The old saying goes, a leopard can't change its spots. So if someone's telling you how they are, then it's gonna fall on you how it ends. All right. But anyway, she continues to see this guy, and eventually it becomes a situationship and stuff like that. But I think she got obsessed with this guy because, as I said earlier, her biological clock is ticking. So she's trying to find her mate. You know what I'm saying? And I don't fault her for that. That's not the problem. Um, but how she's going about it is, so I think she told me they've been dating for only like 4 months and stuff like that. But she says she's in love with him already in 4 months, and she's ready to marry him and stuff like that. Ladies, if you want, if your goal is to run the guy off as fast as possible, just tell him you love him and you're ready to marry like after 4 months of dating. That's the quickest way to get a man to ghost you for sure. Don't do that. Give it time. And I told her, I was like, how? What do you love about him? Only after 4 months, and you know, she had to think about it. She was like, and then she gave me her answer. And the first thing she said was, "Oh, he's really handsome. He's so handsome, and he's a dentist." And I was like, okay, that is like, superficial stuff, but like, what do you really like about him? You know? And she couldn't give me an answer, you know? And like, she tells me a lot of bad things about the situationship. Um, I guess, like after like 3 months of doing what they were doing, she brought up the conversation of like, hey, what are we? Are we going to be together? I really like you. Uh, I want to have a family and stuff like that. And he told her again, no, I don't want anything serious. What we have now is good, So, I guess the sex is good. They go on, uh, they meet each other every now and then, to go on to do some dates, take pictures and stuff like that, and things like that. And I guess she brought this up multiple times, but his answer has never changed. But she keeps saying, but she don't believe him because, like, I guess he calls her every night, and uh, she was like, "Yeah, he calls me every night." And I asked her, I said, "Well, what do y'all talk about?" Because conversation, whatever y'all talk about, it matters. It matters. And she was like, "Oh, he talks about his job, uh, his plans. He's talking about getting a new car and stuff like that." And I was like, "Does he ever ask about you, like how your day is going or something like that?" She was like, "No, we just always talk about him and what he got going on." I'm like, "How long you gotta be talking on the phone about this?" Because I mean, that's to me seems like a short conversation. She was like, "Oh, about like 3 hours a night." It's like, God damn, 3 hours, 3 hours, and I'm like, I know what he doing. I know what he doing. He just putting bait out there, to like, hey, I'm here, take it. No, I'm not ready. And let me call you tonight. Putting the bait out. And she takes it every time, you know. So, um, she cannot accept the idea that he doesn't feel the same way she does. And sometimes they go on trips together. I think like a few days ago, she told me they went to fencing class. She liked to try new things, so she asked him to go with her. I know y'all see that smoke, right? I'm the one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know y'all see that. Yes, sir. Smooth. But I will get to what I'm talking about this New Year resolution in this story here in a bit. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on, let me go on live Facebook right now. Where am I? Where am I? All right. So I see some people are joining my Facebook Live. I'm also live on YouTube. But to catch you guys up on Facebook, I'm telling a story about someone I know and their New Year's resolution, and it involves relationships. All right, we'll try to catch you guys up. I'm talking about one of my students that I teach English to, and she has this New Year resolution of New Year, New Me. She's involved in a situationship, and it's not going any further than that. And I'm talking about this story to I guess support my opinion why New Year resolutions are overrated. But yeah, so basically, this uh, woman from Turkey that I'm teaching English to, talking about she's in a situationship that she wants to turn into a relationship, but it's only one way. It's not being reciprocated back. And this guy has told her from the beginning that he didn't want anything serious, uh, no commitment, no responsibility, and knowing this, she still decides to keep seeing this guy in hopes that he would change his mind. you know, so yeah, I'm telling this story, and but yeah, basically, she's brought this up to him, this topic, this conversation multiple times, and he keeps telling her the same thing. No, no, I like what we have right now. I don't want to change anything like that. All right. So, she tells me, you know, a lot of things about this situationship, and the things that she's telling me is not going in her favor at all. And this guy, he's just, throwing bait out to her to keep her around and stuff like that. And they only been, seeing each other for 4 months, but she's already told him that she loves him. She wants to have a family with him, just things to run a guy off after 4 months of dating. You know? But, I get it because she's in her early 30s, and she's that biological clock. Hey, bro. What's up? What's up? How are you? Long time no talk. Happy New Year. Um, but yeah, her biological clock is ticking. So, pretty sure she's getting desperate to find her mate. All right, I think that's enough to speed you guys up where I left off on my YouTube channel. But you know, they talk every day, but they always just talk about him, and they never talk about the things she wants to do and stuff like that. But I guess this the last meeting they had, they went. I think they spent Christmas together or something like that for like one night or something like that. And then she wanted to continue to see him the day after, but he told her, "No, I think this is enough. I don't want too much overdose of you." Those exact words. He said that to her. I don't want too much overdose of you. And I'm like, that is that is grounds for immediate dismissal. Like if a chick ever told me that, I'm trying to spend more time with her, and she's like, "Oh no, I don't want to see you. It's too much. One night is good." I'm out. You know, if I'm looking for a relationship, you know, and I'm looking to build a family in the future and stuff, I'm cutting it right there. You're not about to like disrespect me in my face like that and expect me to keep seeing you. But guess what she did? She kept seeing him. Kept seeing him. She, you know, she told me like, oh, he's breaking my heart, and stuff like that. I'm like, no, you're breaking your own heart. He told you from the beginning what he wanted, and he keeps like he does these things to like keep you around because you know he knows how to like keep you attracted, and you just allow him to do that. And I guess there was another incident that they were supposed to go on a ski resort trip together, and I guess there was some issue with planning, whatever. And then he tells her he's gonna go with someone else. I'm like, how many insults, how many like disrespectful things he can throw at her, and she's still gonna stay around with him. But guess what? She did, or still doing so. You know, but try to like fast forward this story to now. Uh, I actually talked to her today about this, and she was like, "Oh, are you gonna be so proud of me?" I gave him an ultimatum. I told him like he needs to make his mind up. You know, I told him that if this is going to be it, you're either going to choose to be with me. We're going to stop this situationship, and we're going to upgrade to a relationship and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, so what did he say? She said he said nothing. Like what? I was like, what do you mean nothing? She was like, like he just thought about it, and then I was like, and y'all just left it at that. And she was like, yeah. So she was like, you should be proud of me. I was like, for what? For what? I mean, I I told her like, hey, if you're fine with the way things are, because I know people, some people like they get together with the intention of not being serious. They just want a companion every now and then. Go catch movies, Netflix and chill, and what else? What other benefits come with that? And I told her I was like, if you're fine with this, that's cool. You know, um, just keep going as you are. But if you're trying to get a relationship, this might not be the best situation for you. You know, you're just gonna keep digging yourself into the same hole until you can't climb back out by yourself. You know, so but she thought I should be proud of her because she told him that. I mean, yeah, it's cool. You gave him ultimatum, but like, how long are you going to give him to think about it? Every time you're going to bring this conversation up, it's going to be the same thing over and over. So she says, okay, it's going to be a new year, new me. I was like, what does that mean? What does that even mean, new year, new me? She's like, I'm going to focus on myself, um, and uh, try to find someone new, whatever. I was like, but you didn't end this situation with the guy. She's like, I'm just waiting for what he gonna say. I was like, so what's the new you? What is the new you? This is why I say New Year resolutions are overrated. It's just talk, all talk. Most people is just all talk, no action. You know, oh, I'm gonna get fit this year after 2 weeks. Oh, my work is busy. I can't keep up with this plan. I'll get back to it soon. And they do this every year. It's just like a cycle. It's like a cycle. People just make up excuses not to continue their game plan. You know? But yeah, so I guess she's currently still waiting to see what he's going to do. And then, I asked her, I was like, what type of guy do you like? Like, do you want him to be like tall? You want him to be kind? You want a traditional man? But she couldn't say anything. She didn't. She don't know what type of man she like or type of guy she wants. I was like, so how can you start a relationship and you don't even know what type of person you want to be with? And I was like, you know what? You should like take this time to like focus on yourself, And I just asked her a random question. I was like, hey, do you know how to cook? She was like, no, I hate being in the kitchen. And I was like, that might be a problem if you're looking for a future spouse, because, uh, most men like a woman who can cook, you know. We all have our preferences, but some of these things, some of the preferences are generalized. Like, for example, a woman wants like a guy over 6 feet, handsome, fit, and have money. That is like a general preference or general preferences for all women. You can't sit here and tell me that it's not. Can't. Some women will say, "Oh, it's not about the money. Oh no, it's about his heart and stuff like that." I was like, "Okay, what if he have a good heart but he ain't got no job? You gonna take care of him? No, you gonna leave him. You gonna have other dudes in your DM, and then you gonna see who another match, and then when you do make that match, then you're gonna cut off with him. So let's not act like there are not generalized preferences for both. I don't know what to say now, genders or sexes. With so many. I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah. And I was like, well, how about you start there? How about you start learning how to cook? She was like, but cooking takes so much time and stuff like that. I'm like, there are quick meals that you can make that are delicious. It doesn't take long to make a steak and some potatoes and some vegetables and stuff like that. It doesn't take long. Like you can even do meal prep. Uh, but once again, people always find excuses not to do something that's going to improve their life, you know. And uh, I was like, maybe you should just take this time back, get a piece of paper, and write down what you want in a guy and stuff like that, and just review it. And then also, you should write down like what you can improve on, or what you can improve yourself in, and you know and align that with preferences of guys. I think like nowadays we care so much about what the woman wants, and us men, we try to be everything that the woman want. But that's, to me, that's selfish. That's so selfish. I have to do everything you want me to do, but what am I getting back in return? you know and that's what it is. A relationship is give and take. It's give and take. I know, like, there's had to be some compromises and stuff like that. But a relationship is give and take. You want me to protect you. You want me to, provide for you if we go on dates or stuff like that. You know, and the best case scenario, the woman doesn't have to work. I can work. I can take care of all the bills and stuff like that. But it's a team. You just don't get to, like, how do I say? You just don't get the freeload just because you're a woman. And I think that's where we're at in the society today. A lot of women think they're entitled to stuff just because they're women. They don't have to do anything. Now I see a lot of guys, doing the women stuff, like I see a lot of stuff on like Facebook and Instagram, like the men come home from a 12-hour shift and she's just like on her phone, just scrolling through her feed and stuff, and didn't make dinner, and the man is complaining, hey, where's dinner? Oh, you microwave something, stuff like that. Like, come on, really? So I told her, like, you need to like learn how to be a wife. You know, you expect men to be men coming into the relationship, right? And but when we expect something from women, it gets demonized. Oh, I want her to be fit, and then it's called body shaming. But you tell a guy he needs to go to the gym, we go to the gym, we'll get fit, we take it, we accept it. It's much more acceptable for women to say that, but we cannot have preferences. So our preferences has to be what the women wants, you know. So most guys just gonna keep you in that fuck buddy zone. You know what I'm saying? But I'm about to end this Facebook stream. So if you guys want to continue to listen to what I'm saying or hear what I'm talking about, just check my Facebook, uh, my newest post. I'm on YouTube. Just click the link and just hop right on in. All right. See you guys on the other side. Yeah. But yeah, New Year resolutions are overrated. If you want to do something, just do it. Just do it. And stick to the game plan. Stop making excuses. All that energy that you're using to make excuses, you can be pouring that energy into achieving your goals. You know, I can't stand people that complain a lot. You know, and these people that complain, I know the economy is bad and stuff, but they're doing fine. These people are doing fine. There are a lot of people that would love to be in your shoes. Some people, you know, don't have anything. They're living off of pennies every day. People, we forget that. We don't appreciate the things that we have. You know, you know, a roof over your head. You know how many homeless people there are. You know how many homeless people would die just to stay in a motel just for an hour, just to get a clean shower. We take the things we have for granted and we don't appreciate them. So yeah, stop complaining. Some people come from nothing, and that's their motivation. They want to escape from where they're from, and some people never forget where they come from. They never forget where they come from, and that keeps them going. So always remember, like, there is someone that's way worse off than you are. You know, just all that energy you using for complaining, just use that same energy to do whatever you want to do. Same. But yeah, I will. I think I'm gonna talk to this lady again next week, whatever like that. So I'll give an update in the video next week. You know, yeah, I'll give an update in the video next week, and hopefully she does, or she does what she said that she's gonna do. Yeah, and I hope so. I wish the best for everyone. You know, I wish everyone can achieve their dreams. And there's this word going around that like gets under my skin. I don't even want to say it, but this word manifestation. Ugh. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good to like, speak about or talk about things that you want to happen, to say it, you know. I think it's good motivation. It's a good motivational tool. But you not you just don't say something and it just happens. You got to put action behind that. You got to go through the necessary steps, the necessary process to make those things happen. You know, you just can't say, "Oh, uh, I'm going to buy a brand new house," and then you just magically get the money and you just buy a house. Oh, I manifest. Oh, it's manifestation. Doesn't work that way. Not at all. So if you're gonna say something, that's cool, but put some action behind it. People always say actions speak louder than words, and they do. They do. you know. But I know some people are gonna disagree with me, and that's fine. We'll just see how it goes for them. But yeah, I've been talking for a minute now, so but I really want to wish everyone uh, happy New Year, and I'm not gonna say I wish everything that you dream comes true. I'm gonna wish you health and strength to do those things that you want to do, to make those things come true with your actions. So I do wish everyone, good health and good strength. Mhm. But yeah, please like, subscribe, uh, share this channel, and I'm going to see you guys on a weekly basis. Just, just a vibe, chilling vibe, talk about things that's on my mind, or you know, some hot topics for all my Christians and gospel people. Uh, I'm sure you guys saw that post about Pastor Jamal Bryant and his wife like attending how do you say a gala, whatever, to support HBCUs and stuff, and you know, her being a pastor wife, the dress that she wore is very controversial right now. Yeah, I'll probably speak on that probably next time. But yeah, just hot topics, whatever's on my mind. If there's anything you guys have on your mind and you want my opinion on it, anything like that, honest opinion, you know, please, you know, put it in the chat, comment on my channel, and I'll look at that stuff. Yeah, but until next time, y'all stay blessed. I'm out.